You're listening to Nebraska Stage Dive with Tucci and Vee, spinning the bands from Nebraska land.
Danny, how's it going?
I'm doing good. Tucci, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. You know, we're doing this on a Friday afternoon. Not
Awesome.
Too bad.
It can be. You know, we had a little rain today.
Yeah.
You know, did you get out yet? I mean, you're in the studio. You've been here longer than I have.
Yeah. You know, I looked out the window before and I noticed that it looked wet. And I was like, oh, it must have rained. I didn't even hear that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting summer.
It really has. We've gotten a lot of rain. And I love thunderstorms. It's a thing that I find really relaxing. And it seems like sometimes it's not so much the thunderstorm, but the rain we get. So I kind of miss that.
Well, I was talking. I was talking to my wife, but my wife was talking more like it, and she was just saying, you know, she's a big storm fan, and she loves storms, and I do too. I like them good, you know. She says we've got nothing for storms this summer. You know, and I said, well, the ones we have been overnight.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
You know, so we've missed out on a lot of them and stuff. So,
and you know what, Danny? What's great about those overnight storms is that I don't know about your kids. Maybe they're too old for this, but my girls, and they crawl in our bed.
Oh yeah, no, they're not too old. I mean, you know, Ryan gets a little bit nervous about them, and but not as bad as he used to.
Yeah,
and. It's always just kind of an event around our house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're watching the weather, you know, and then, that's it. That big cell's not going to miss.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, it missed, man. You know, so it's,
yeah, that's awesome. Anything else new from your end?
You know, not too much. Played a couple shows this summer, and things are going good. I'll tell you what, man, the music world, we've had some.
Oh man,
you know, we're gonna try on our shows to just kind of do a little bit of a brief rundown of music news around, you know, the world. And I tell you, like we said, it's been crazy, and I guess we'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
How big a fan are you?
You know, I'm a big fan of Black Sabbath, and I am a fan of Ozzy's solo stuff, especially his earlier stuff. And the only reason I say that is because that's what I've listened to more of. You know?
Right, yeah.
And one of my favorite songs by Ozzy or Black Sabbath is "No More Tears." That song is, I think, stellar. Like it is. I think the melodies are great, and it's also, it's not as straightforward as you think, because there's that weird little breakdown about 3/4 of the way through the song, which is like, what the fuck's this about?
Yeah,
which is awesome. You know,
yeah, exactly. I mean, and you know, I tell you, man, it's amazing how many hits that guy's got.
Yeah.
I was listening to Black Sabbath. I mean, I got to admit, I've probably more familiar with Ozzy's original stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Than the deep Black Sabbath. I have appreciation for him now, even more than I've had Ozzy's Boneyard on in my in the car on Sirius. And I tell you, you know, Changes by Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
I am.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Yeah,
and it, you know, I heard that after I heard the news the other day. I'm driving in my car, and I almost brought a tear.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I'm not even like that usually, you know. I mean, but yeah, I was talking to somebody earlier in the week, and I'll present the question to you. And is Ozzy, in terms of losing a musical icon, who could be bigger?
Right.
We're thinking about that. McCartney, maybe?
McCartney, you know, maybe Bruce Springsteen comes to mind, but there's not, there's probably not many more than that.
Jagger?
Right? Yeah, maybe.
But, you know, it's weird because, you know, Ozzy is, he was a pioneer on this. He might be the first, this reality TV.
Yeah, right.
They were one of the first. I mean, so that introduced him to a whole new generation.
Yes. Well, and speaking to that point, Dan, you know, my mom, she had mentioned about Ozzy dying, and she talked about really liking, his wife Sharon, and that's because of the reality TV stuff,
Right.
And there's no reason my mom should know anything about Ozzy,
Right?
That's just not her cup of tea, right?
Well, I've got a couple years on you, and I remember I was a kid. And I remember the day Elvis died. Back in those days, of course, it wasn't on, you didn't have it on, CNN and stuff like that. It came across, damn Gilligan's Island was on. And there was a ticker rolling across the bottom.
Yeah.
And I always remember that day, I went up to Treasure City.
Okay.
And I bought Al Stewart's Year of the Cat on 45.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I always remember that. But, that was definitely, and Ozzy was definitely in that same realm, if you think about it. And, God, Brian Wilson earlier in the summer.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, So, I wanted to touch on that because, if we're doing music shows,
Right.
It's the elephant in the room this week.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it is crazy. I know you and I chatted a bit about this, just how, just got done doing that massive, farewell thing, and here it is, maybe 2 weeks later or something?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. And I didn't know it was that dire. And I don't know if anybody did.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what a way to go out for him.
Sure.
And,
that's cool.
Yeah. The music world definitely has a void.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's true. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So we're, hey man, we're bringing the music scene of Nebraska to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do we got today, buddy?
Well, we're going to review an album. It looks like it's their newest album by a band called the Wildwoods. The album's called Dear Meadowlark. This is a band that, I don't know about you, Dan. I, through some people, heard about them. When I say a few years ago, I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe right when they started to do stuff. So just like any local band, just playing around. And I think they played, more, their scenes, maybe more coffee shop, vineyards, that kind of a thing, Yeah. And then, over the years, they've gotten, pretty big, which, we'll get into as well. But
looking at their tour schedule, hell, they're all over the United States.
All over.
That's so great.
All over, yeah. And this is something that people, and this is one of the reasons, right, why you and I are doing this, to get people, not just here in Lincoln and Nebraska, but anywhere in the country to realize, hey, there's obviously awesome stuff here in Lincoln, Nebraska, but also in any community, right?
Absolutely.
You just go and look for it. So I think people will be surprised to find out the quality of music we have in this area.
Yeah.
This
show and this format of media, if you will, is kind of what we needed when we were youngsters.
No kidding.
Yeah. I was telling you last week, man, when I started playing in bands, we got a guest list. We'd play a show. We had people sign a notebook.
Yeah.
And we'd send snail mail out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's unheard of today.
You're right.
So
we're totally right.
And whether you guys all think about it or not, we're doing you a big service here.
Exactly.
I listened to this, the Wildwoods, Dear Meadowlark, and I tell you what, man, the first thing that pops to my head is these guys got the harmonies.
Yeah, they do. Wow. that's in the forefront of their stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
I've got a little tag when I listening to it. I'm like, hey. But I tell you what, the first cut, Meadowlark, that I listened to, can we bring a little bit of that up?
You betcha.
Let's do it.
You betcha.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, very strong harmonies and melodies.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Soar in the sky. His brothers and his sisters left no goodbye.
And Dan, I mean, what an excellent way to start off this album. It lets you know that, hey, the vocals are the thing, right?
Yeah. We're gonna sock you with these vocals,
right?
I mean, man, there's a little Mary Travers there in this gal. And Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh, there you go.
They've got that vibe, and that's maybe the utmost compliment I can throw out.
Yeah.
For this kind of music, folk music.
Yeah. Okay, so Dan, you
Chloe
just said,
Gose is the singer, and her husband Noah Gose is the guitar player. Mm-hmm. Andrew and gosh darn it, I reached out to their media rep to get a pronunciation on this name.
Yeah,
because I do my homework here, man,
which is appreciated.
I didn't get an answer yet, but Andrew Vagalis is stand-up bass.
Okay, there
he might play bass too, but any cuts I was looking at or videos or pictures, it looks like he's playing stand-up.
Yeah.
And I've heard nothing but good things about these guys.
Yeah.
And Chloe, I'm not. I say guys loosely. I'm just saying guys. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Somebody can correct us.
Right.
Yeah.
I went into here in town to Amazing Popcorn over there.
Yeah.
I stop in there periodically, and I was
place.
telling the ladies there about our show.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it going here and stuff. And she said, "You got to do the Wildwoods." That they have a connection somewhere to them. And I said, "I'll write them down." And and when I talked to you about them, you had already heard of them as well. And here we're off and rolling.
Yeah.
So what's your first? So our first thought is on this is definitely harmonies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's as I was taking some notes, that's the first three words I put down: powerful vocal harmonies. Yeah. I mean, it does hit you in the face right away. Yeah.
Right. And the register's so good. I mean, they're up and up in a higher register and they're down and they're not missing a beat, man.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, they're not missing there's
right.
It sounds great. So.
Yeah. You Dan named some comparisons, as I listened through this album. And I'm not saying these are direct comparisons, but if there was a playlist, I think the Wildwoods would fit well with, some artists like Loggins and Messina.
Yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel. There's another more modern band, Lords of Heron. I have a couple of their albums. Our first one I really, really like a lot, but some of these vocal melodies remind me of some of their melodies. Both bands, I would say, kind of folky Americana, but Wildwoods is definitely more towards the folky Americana thing. But yeah, those harmonies are pretty nice.
Right. Yeah. And I should point out that Lincoln Journal Star here in town, they were voted 2022 best band.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
People's Choice.
Look at that. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And it appears to me, that these guys, I mean, heck, they're not local anymore. They seem they're national. And just let me bring that up here real fast. And some of the shows, I mean, they're Montana, and they're down to Utah, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, California,
all over the place.
Nevada, and then in Colorado, and they're back over to Maryland and stuff. Hey, man,
good for them.
Yeah, good for those guys.
That's very cool.
Now they switch it up a little bit if on the second one, if I'm not Sweet Niobrara.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And this one on Spotify has over 420,000 plays. So I'm not for sure exactly. It seems like this one was
this is their single
promoted somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Because it's substantially more than the rest, which is cool. We'll play a bit here from the song "Sweet Niobrara." And this is a river in Nebraska, for those of you who don't know. Beautiful countryside there.
The smell of it still lingers on my clothes. Double lines like dominoes fall against each other on the open road. I won't forget you when you're next to me. I sound the horn to keep you away. Sweet Niobrara, in the morning I will leave for Valentine. Highway 12 is a fine stretch of country to clear a foggy mind. Oh, Niobrara, I am leaving you behind.
Danny, what do you think of this tune?
I really like how everything is just, you hear everything.
Yeah.
You hear every part. There's nothing really
Yeah.
kabobbled or hidden in there. I was just thinking too, Tucci. I mean, what a fun band at it, like a festival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah.
you almost have to get up and move your feet a little bit, to that. I could just imagine. But yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
really, really nice. And I gotta say, man, I got an appreciation for folk music, and I really like it. I just don't listen a lot to it,
Yep.
But now I was listening to this other night. I'm like, wow, I mean, some morning, Sunday morning or something, when I'm making breakfast.
There you go.
I'm putting this on,
Sure. Yeah, that makes
you're
sense.
getting the batter going, and it's just feel good. It's feel good music.
Feel good music? Yeah.
How about you on this one?
Yeah, I have a few. I jotted down a few standout tracks, and odd enough, this wasn't one of the standouts for me, and so I'm pushing up against the 420,000 plays, but and that doesn't mean anything.
Well, you're an odd guy anyway. But
that is true. Yes.
You're good odd. You're good odd.
But that doesn't mean anything about the song, right? That's just my experience of the song. Right. So I'll talk about the other standout tracks in a bit, but specific to this, as I was thinking about this album, and I haven't listened to any other albums by Wildwoods, any other songs. So this is the first take. I assume that the rest of their albums are like this, in terms of this is Nebraska centric, from what I understand, but kind of like a concept album, in a certain kind of way. But I assume the rest of their stuff is similar in terms of genre. I think about like old country artists, right, where they tell stories, or old folky Americana artists where they tell stories, right? And I really appreciate that because there's something that some vivid imagery that shows up for me. Now, again, this maybe if I can for a second, I'm going to go on a little tangent here because I think this is important.
Sure.
And it's probably something, Dan, that we'll talk about a lot. So hopefully the listeners both appreciate and forgive us for talking about this a lot. And that is, the angle that we're taking here on this show is to introduce folks to local artists, right?
Yep.
And in doing that, we share our experience of the music, right?
Right.
And that does not mean we're going to like every song or every band that we review.
Right.
It just doesn't mean that.
No.
But unlike, Rolling Stone or whatever else, we're not giving grades to these songs or these albums.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just saying, hey, this is our experience. And because art, specifically music, is so subjective, it's going to be different for everyone, right?
Yes.
It just is. I listened to this album on headphones and not on headphones just so I could get an experience and to see like, okay, is what I'm hearing what the artist intended, and we would have really liked to get either a physical album or some high-res files from the band to see like, okay, how is that compared to the streaming experience, right?
Right.
So with all that being said, that anything that, I say, anything that Dan says on this show, take it with a grain of salt. We're just sharing our experiences, and hopefully, if there's something we don't like and you love it, that's the point of the show,
And that's the arts.
Yes, and that's the arts.
That's the arts.
Exactly. So, with that being said, this song, there are a lot of things I like about it. It just, and this is one of my review metrics, the emotional resonance. It just didn't hit me in a certain kind of way, because it sounds reflective. It sounds like this, because they're very specific about the area of the state. And and I've been there a few times, and just no real connection to what they were saying, and that's not wrong. That's just my experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I can appreciate it's competently done, and I hope a lot of people like the song. It just didn't have that same connection to me.
Well, no, exactly. And I mean, we're talking 420,000.
Yeah.
Like, so some people like the song, obviously.
Right.
It moved me a little more than you did.
Cool.
I liked it. I liked the kick up from the first one, Meadowlark, but I really like Meadowlark.
Yeah.
That first song, I don't know, that
Pulls
the
you
beautiful, that was beautiful harmonies and vocals.
Yep.
Pull me in, and
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, wow, a little bit of like. And not like Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah.
Verbatim.
Right.
But it pulls me in kind of like that. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Insert the old, meet the parents. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro. You remember it. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Meadowlark really pulled me in.
Yeah.
And this one, I just what I thought of when I listened to Sweet Niobrara was an outdoor festival.
Yep.
And everybody dancing around.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
I mean, I did dive in a little bit to some of their other cuts.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And stuff, and they're right there. I mean, they're consistent, and they're telling these very, kind of earthy experiences and stuff like that. And it's a band of the land, if you will.
I like that.
Did you say? Is that right? Did you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
I just made it up right now. That's the thing with you and I. We go on a whim. We don't rehearse anything.
No, not at all.
We go here, but they're kind of a It's I mean, even though this song maybe didn't resonate with you as much, their whole body of work. It's just kind of, outdoors, you know what I mean? Outdoors, and it does kind of give, that Nebraska out west feel.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So.
Well, Dan, since we're kind of talking about some tracks here, I have in particular, in the number of standout tracks I have doesn't necessarily mean anything. For some reason, I kind of stick to 3. It helps me to just not get too crazy. So the 3 I have, Poster Child, Hideaway, and Under the Rug. We can play clips here. Poster Child, in my view, poppy, catchy. And the what's the female lead singer's name?
Chloe Gills.
Chloe's voice, compared to some other songs, it seems like she has a bit more room to breathe. The voice kind of stands out, which I like. That's one thing that I think I noticed as I was reflecting on this album today, was that this could be a production issue. It could be my fucking ears. I don't know, Dan. But it seemed like there was some, the vocals felt a little airy or breathy in a way, compared to, let's say, if I listened to some other artists that would maybe be in a similar genre, where it sounded, I don't know if I want to say the enunciation or the clarity of the vocals kind of came through a bit more. That's not to say I couldn't understand the vocals here, but there was something that was sometimes, at least to my ears, getting kind of lost in the mix, And again, that just might be my issue.
Yeah.
Not a negative thing. That's just, I mean, hell, there's some indie bands that they purposely mix their vocals in a way that they get buried, right? And it might piss off people, but it makes sense for the music, right? And so that's just a preference thing.
Let's slide the Vader on that one.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. Okay, Poster Child coming in hot.
Gonna be something, you got it in you. They told you you were special, but you fit in like any old shoe. Life was simple and so easy. The colors were bright and vibrant, being yourself was such a breeze. How often do the echoes resound? You're covering your ears till it's too loud. You're running out of chances to be wild. You burnt out, exposed and tried. All day with you.
What are you thinking, Danny?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this one.
And
Yeah.
there's and I think that one reason I like this song so much is because, and this, I would definitely put this on a playlist. Definitely. There's something, while it's poppy and catchy, it's also laid back, and I don't. It's weird, kind of how that is. The rhythm does move me, but it's nothing out of control. It makes sense for their style, but it's different. Her vocals there don't sound nearly as at least to me, as breathy as they do in other songs. Maybe it's because there's more space. Maybe there's not a competition for vocal space amongst the other singers. I don't know. It just hit me as soon as I heard it. It's like, wow. And coming off of Sweet Niobrara is interesting. One has 420,000 plays, the other has 44,000. And I know I could easily listen to this song another 100,000 times, which is kind of interesting.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. It's just music for me is so situational, and when I listen to something, or I kind of make a joke out of a lot of stuff. I'm a little sarcastic, but it's like I made the comparison to him making breakfast, and this is just like, I'm going to pull this up, next time I'm out on the deck in the morning having my coffee.
Yeah.
I get up before everybody in our house, and it's just my time,
Yeah.
This is this to me was one of my favorites as well.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
And I can kind of see what you mean, the harmonies and everything. It's very relaxed and natural. I gotta load these guys in my VW bus sometime and
there you go.
take a road trip. And let's take a road trip with these guys, and they can just sing to us.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Right. They probably say, "Go to hell."
Dan, do you have another standout track on your end?
Well, I thought I'm in Sandusky was interesting in the fact that I believe it's probably Chloe's husband Noah doing the singing.
Okay.
I think he kind of takes the lead on this one.
Okay.
And just for a little different spin.
Yeah, let's check it out here.
They're kind of rocking this a little bit more. Aren't they?
Yep, they are. Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool one.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I understand these. Chloe and Noah met at their high school sweethearts at Pius.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I think
Okay.
the ladies told me, that have a connection with these guys.
That's cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, it is, like you said, it's different compared to some of their other songs, you know? That is a thing that I appreciate about this album because, some bands can get really stuck in one song sounding like the next, and they keep the, you're not, each of these songs, you're going to know, oh yeah, this is the Wildwoods, right?
Right.
But one song to the next does not sound the same, which is appreciated. It really is. That makes, I think, the album more listenable, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Looking, track 7 is Under the Rug. That was one of my other standout tracks. It only has 14,000 plays on Spotify. Let's give this a quick listen because I liked it.
There's an angel in the kitchen scrambling eggs, wings of white feathers with long tall legs. Nobody sees her except the eyes of mine. She's so divine, laughing while she sips the wine. I know you, my love, I know you more than God above. So quit sweeping me under.
Beautiful melodies there.
Yes. Well, every song they have are beautiful
Yeah.
melodies.
Yep.
What you'll do, what you say. I promise devotion with no walls of emotion.
Yeah, Dan, music hits us all differently, right? And as I listen to that song or Poster Child, I think about again, it's like, wow, they just hit me in a certain way, right? Again, emotionally, that's oftentimes why I'm listening more to a song or put it on repeat,
Right.
And again, I see, the Sweet Neighbor, not to take anything away from that song, has a lot of plays compared to, let's say, Under the Rug. I think that chorus for Under the Rug is a beautiful melody and has a certain emotional hook to it that's like, fuck, that's what pulls me back in.
Right, right.
And again, I would listen. I'd put Under the Rug in in a playlist on a mixed CD, if you will, with no problems, no reservations. And you know what, Dan? Listening to that song, even the I'm in Sandusky. There is a at least to me, it seems like this kind of 60s, 70s feel to these songs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
God, there's another artist that she sounds so much like, and I'm just drawing a blank right now. And it's a big time. Mm-hmm. It's a big hitter.
Yeah.
God, and it'll come to me later.
Yeah.
But one thing really great about these guys too is like, not every song sounds alike.
Correct. Yeah.
Sometimes I do have that problem with, maybe local artists or regional artists, trying, coming up in the world, is sometimes, hell, I've played in bands like that with original stuff, and it all kind of sounds the same,
Yeah, right.
But for this kind of folk music, and folk music is in a kind of a category where, a lot of that can sound the same.
Totally.
Even you go to any of, Peter, Paul and Mary, or the, you remember, was it the Seekers? Back in the
I think so.
back.
Yeah.
And then they did Georgie Girl, right?
I think so.
I might have to Google that to make sure that's
maybe.
right. There's the Searchers and there's the Seekers, and I'm getting way back. But they do a good job. And one thing that really catches me too is like you think of harmonies and you always think the high register climbing on top of, on that high register on top of the main vocal.
Yep, right.
Well, they really do a good job if you listen to those underlying vocals.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The low part.
Yeah. Right.
And that's a skill.
That is a skill.
That's a skill.
Good point. That is a good point. Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah. The last one on it is footprints on the floor.
Okay.
Let's bring that one up.
You bet.
Locks of hair on the floor, still waiting for it to grow back so I can go outside.
So I believe this is Noah taking the lead again.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds like him.
Falling wasteful of my selfish mind. Why have I been so unkind? I suppose I'm overthinking. I have been drinking on a Monday afternoon. All my thoughts belong to her. She rents a room up in my head or sifting through the drawers. Won't you tell me what you find? 'Cause all that you have left behind are footprints on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost like a little blackbird melody there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. And, again, kind of a different vibe, right? But still,
13,822 hits on that one?
Yeah.
Come on, America.
I know.
Come on.
I know. Yep. Dan,
This guy's going to be on a movie score someday.
think, right? Yeah. Yeah. Totally. You could easily see that.
Yeah.
Dan, when I listen, to any album, I have about 7 different metrics I kind of, maybe unintentionally run through. Right now, being more intentional given what we're doing with the show. Here are those metrics. And these are just terms and concepts I made up, so it's, again, subjective.
Yep.
Competency for the style of music that it seems like the band is aiming for. Emotional resonance, how the music makes me feel. Production, quality of production. Is it overproduced, poorly produced? Enjoyability, how fun is listening to the music. Provocative, how engaging and interesting is the music. Visual aesthetics. So this applies to any of the physical or digital media and how appealing it is. For Dan and I, growing up in the era of physical media, that was a big deal. Sometimes that's how you bought an album, right?
Oh,
how
yeah,
it looked,
for sure.
Plenty of albums I did that, and so many times it was a hit. It's like, oh, this is great.
Why in the hell do you think I grew up a Kiss fan?
Well, there you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the last one I have is a ripple effect, meaning has the music been on your mind? How much do you want to revisit it, listen to it again? So, Dan, if we can, let's just kind of run through. We've already talked about some of this, but just in the context of this so our listeners can kind of see where we're coming from. And again, this reinforces this idea that we're not judging the music. We're just talking about our experiences.
Right.
And maybe ways to view some music, right? Okay, so competency, meaning, are they playing the style in which it seems like they're playing, if that makes sense? We've said a lot about it being folksy and Americana. Do you think they nailed this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I think so, too.
I want to see these guys live, and I have no doubt they're great because I've heard they're great.
Yeah.
But, God, if say they're playing a festival or something somewhere, and
yeah,
it's so impressive when harmonies like this can resonate in the climate, humidity. I'm sure they're playing outdoor stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, like I said, I see these guys, not that they're bluegrass, but at a festival like that, kind of like country kind of setting. And it's killing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Okay, emotional resonance, Dan. How does the music make you feel? Or does it make you feel?
Relaxed.
Relaxed, okay.
Relaxed.
Yeah. Now, when you listen, if we, let's first say the album as a whole, is this something that gives you some some like emotional pull?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, you know, an emotional pull, and you might have to bring that out for me a little more of what you're, you know, as a emotional pull as to what, you know, or explain a little better to me.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, it's definitely giving me that relaxed feel. You know, I guess this maybe, you know, this is the kind of, you know, you're listening to this and you're probably looking around at stuff you don't, you know, the nature part of where you're at, you know, you're zoning into a tree or something. You know, what do you think? I mean, am I close?
Oh, I think so, and I think maybe you gave the answer before as well. You know, when you talk about like turning it on in the morning, whether you're having your cup of coffee, you're making breakfast, right? Like that qualifies, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of the sweet spot of my day.
There you go. Yeah, which is cool. Yeah,
we've talked about that. We're morning guys.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, where we, you know, best part of the day. Didn't we talk about that last?
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
You know.
So, like for me, I would say overall the album. I don't notice a big emotional pull from the album, right? Like when I think about the album, I don't notice any big emotions. But there are a few of those standout tracks for me that it's like, damn, I really love that. That's an emotional hook there for me that this would go on a playlist for me, right?
Right.
And I think that's is big. One of the biggest compliments I can give to any band is if I feel emotionally connected to the music, right?
Right.
So, so yes, there are a few songs on this that are definite keepers for me.
You know, and for me, James as well, it's like, how many times, I mean, this happens to me a lot with bands maybe, you know, that, you know, don't have airplay and that you're discovering for the first time is like, can you remember one of those hooks? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you re-listen to it now, would that still be in my head?
Right.
Tonight. 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And if it is, that's a huge compliment.
There you go.
Because, you know, Frank Sinatra said at one time that the key to success is keeping songs simple and have a good hook.
There you go. Yeah. You know, Dan, that's let's jump to one of these other metrics because that's a good segue. You know, this enjoyability, how fun is listening to the music, right? Like you said, keep them simple. You know, the length of these songs, you know, if there's a qualification for pop music, I think these would qualify, right? They're within the 3-minute mark. There's one that hits 5, maybe there's another one that's longer, but I think that's wise, you know.
Right.
I think McCartney said it, right? Like 3 minutes, you know, like it doesn't need to be much longer.
No.
And you know, they get in, they do the job, and they get out, and I think that's a plus because this album goes pretty fast. You know, it does, and it makes you want to, you know, like wait, I want to go back and catch that again.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, as opposed if it's a 7 or 8 minute song and you're noodling on this, and you know you got and. You're like, well, you know, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
With it and stuff.
Yeah.
Leave them coming back for more.
Yeah,
like you said, there's a couple of you know, Meadowlark. I think I went back to that 2 or 3 times.
Sure. Yeah.
Listen to that. And Sweet Niobrara, too.
Yeah.
And really, I probably listened to this probably in its entirety twice.
Yeah.
And I definitely put it on a playlist.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Some of these songs, and, you know.
Yep. I think that's cool. Dan, with production, what do you think about the quality of the production?
This is more where you're the expert, James, on this stuff. You're more the gearhead, man. You know,
I don't know about that.
I thought it sounded fine. I thought the balance of the vocals is great. I kind of got what you meant when you said something about the one vocal being a little, you know, airy in there and stuff. Yeah. I did hear that.
Okay.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
I wonder where these guys cut their album.
Yeah, I don't know.
And their recordings at.
Yeah. I don't know, you know. With those vocals, there's something about the lack of maybe definition or weight to the vocals that it's kind of, I'm struggling to find the words, but yes, it's kind of breathy, airy, not super defined. in a sort of way. Not bad, just different, you know. And
Right.
to my ears, sometimes then it gets lost when the other vocals are coming in or some of the other instruments doing their thing. You know, production-wise, and again, this is just a generalized statement. It's quality production, that's for sure. It sounds pretty polished, and that is maybe more than I would like for this style of music, and that's just a preference.
You want a little more raw?
A little more raw.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a note here that, you know, I'd like the production to sound a bit more like the Heartland, rustic and raw, you know.
Yeah.
This sounds a bit too slick, but I get, you know, that's kind of what a lot of music is. You know, there's some country artists that I've, and that's not a big genre I listen to, but there are some who, one guy who I was just listening to him. I think his name, and he's died. He died a few years ago. Malcolm Holcomb, I think his name is.
Yeah.
I came across him. Not a big artist, but man, I listened to him. It's like, holy crap! Like his style of country or singer-songwriter is it's beautiful, but it definitely sounds like it was recorded in a weathered cabin. You know, so there's something about that comes out through his music, right?
Right.
So as I listened to this, I kind of wished this was similar to that. But again, just personal preference, and I know that in itself might turn off other people, you know.
Yeah. They've got some reviews on their site here. I'm going to read you one.
Please.
This is from Freddie McKee, TJPL News.
Okay.
The effect that the Wildwoods outburst of harmony has on you is profound. It isolates you. It makes you look inward and find the good things, and my phone went dark, the good things about yourself. With help from the acoustic stylings of the Wildwoods, we can all become a little brighter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of resonates with me a little bit. I know what we mean. I mean, it's like, you know, so much, you know, in the music world, I mean, even though we can love a band, but, you know, kind of the crap kind of dumbs you down. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, I see where Freddie's going with that.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of reviews on here, and yeah, you guys listening, look up the Wildwoods. They got a good site and lots of stuff on there. What do you think about that quote?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a really, I would imagine for the band, a really validating, powerful, quote. And I can get what the reviewer is saying there. Yeah, absolutely.
Here's another one I want to. Greg Jones from Ear to the Ground Music said, "If you have ever spent time in the woods when you're feeling upset," and then he might be talking about this song will resonate. There's definitely healing in the wild if you give it time to step away from your routine. It's a great old-fashioned style song with some relevant advice for our modern day.
There we go.
And I wish I knew what song he's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, West Virginia Rain.
Oh, there we go.
It's about West Virginia Rain.
Okay.
So that one isn't on this disc. But so you see kind of like, I wanted to touch on those reviews with you because you kind of can see they touch people's, you know,
right.
inner soul with, you know, and it's just their nature side, if you will.
Well, and maybe that's another great segue for this metric. How provocative is the music, right? How engaging and interesting is it? What would you say to that, Dan?
I would, you know, I think this band would be way more into that category live.
Yes.
Do you think?
Yes. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think you'd feel that whole vibe.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
What bands are like that just have that vibe live, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
And but I you know, I definitely think it is with the album too. I mean, will you listen again?
You know, that's a great question. You know, that would be you know, kind of this ripple effect, right?
It is a great question because we only got so much time in our days and stuff like that. And
you know, those couple of songs I would definitely listen to again. The whole album, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not a negative thing. It's like you just said, we only have so much time. Poster Child, Hideaway, and Under the Rug. I would totally listen to those, put those on a playlist and whatnot. Again, for how they resonate with me, the whole album. And again, it kind of to what you've said a couple times, Dan, this kind of folk Americana type of music is not in my wheelhouse. It's something that there's artists that I will listen to, right? But I don't know if I give it a percentage, maybe 10 to 15% of what I listen to,
Yeah.
So if that's the case,
Probably lower for me.
yeah, okay, yeah. So if that's the case, there are some artists that I've just remember from my childhood, right? So they get more spins than maybe something new I'd come across, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's my issue, not the Wildwoods.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, last area here. The visual aesthetics, right? We're looking at the album cover on their site on Spotify. How does it hit you, Dan? Does that make sense with their music?
Yeah, I think it does, don't you? I think there should be some trees in there, though, and we're looking at
yeah. And even the aesthetic, right? Because it kind of looks like a kind of almost like an oil painting or something.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of a cool aesthetic, and I think it's in line with the rest of their albums. Maybe when I took a quick glance, it looked that way. Like that's kind of the aesthetic they used.
Oh, yeah.
Vintage. I don't know what that almost looks like postcards from maybe like the 60s or 70s.
Yeah,
or
it does.
something?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're right on the kind of the oil painting there.
Yeah.
We got a moose on one and
Yeah.
butterfly here on Poster Child, the single.
Yeah.
What do we got going? Oh, that's a
Polaroid.
That's a Polaroid.
Yeah, and Hideaway there. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even realize those are singles. So okay, so the standouts for me have been some singles for them. So that's cool. And then Sweet Neighbor is another single. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Pay attention, James.
I need to pay attention.
Yeah. But they got a nice looking site, and they've definitely portray the earthy vibe on their website.
Yeah, like brown tones, like kind of the sepia stuff. They're really driving that home. That's for sure.
Well, August 1st or 3rd, they're going to be in Bozeman, Montana.
Yeah.
I can't see the screen real great from here, but Butte, Montana, the home of Evel Knievel. That's second. So if
you're
you're
a big fan
in
of.
August, if you guys, anybody's out there listening around Montana, Utah, out west, check these guys out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It looks like the next time, unless they haven't updated their site, the next time they'll be around Nebraska is August 29th in Palmyra at Glacial Till.
Yeah. That's the winery out there, isn't it?
Yep.
You ever been there?
Glacial Till. Maybe once.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I don't remember it.
Yeah. Maybe once.
Oh, Brews at the Zoo in September.
Oh, there you go. Yep. So yes, please, folks,
September 5th.
Check these guys out, the wildwoodsband.com. You can check them out on Spotify and I'm sure a million other places as well. But give these guys a spin, see what you think of them. Feel free to let us know what you think of us and our reviews.
Maybe.
Yeah. But again, keep it in mind, right? Even for you all, when you listen to music, right? Listen with less judgment and more curiosity. I guarantee that the music will be a hell of a lot more enjoyable. Would you say the same, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that. And, hey, we're the first to admit, like you said, we'd do a disservice to people if we liked everything.
Right.
And my dad used to say this all the time, and maybe your dad did too, James. Opinions are like assholes.
Oh, all the time.
We've all got one.
All the time. All the time.
So we're no different in stuff, but we're.
Yeah.
But like you said, James, check these guys out and give them a spin and let us know what you think. I couldn't say it any better myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey Dan, this was a blast. Reviewing this album by the Wildwoods.
Absolutely. Well, we came, like I said, a lot of people told us about these guys, and they definitely got a vibe going for themselves, and they've got a following for sure. So keep it up, Wildwoods, and you guys hit us up too and let us know what you thought.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for joining us.
You bet. Nebraska Stage Dive with Tucci and Vee.